Good afternoon and welcome to Sean Williams Field. Andy Jennings with you on the Tiger Sports Network as we get ready for this baseball matchup between MCC and Ellsworth Community College. Should be an interesting ball game here from Sean Williams Field. Let's run through the starting lineups first quickly for Ellsworth Community College. They'll be the visiting team here in this ball game. You have number 27, Travis Miller. He's the center fielder. He's hitting .411 for the Panthers. Number 13, Jace Grant, is the designated hitter for the pitcher today, Sammy Markle. He's hitting at .345. Pitching for MCC today is Noel Diaz. On the season, he is 2-2 overall. All 4 games he's started with a ERA of 8. So a couple of struggles for Diaz so far. But we are ready to get this thing underway as the pitch is just about ready to be delivered. Again, Travis Miller, the leadoff hitter for the Panthers. He'll be followed by Jace Grant in DH. Jonathan Fleek is the shortstop. David James, the catcher. And we'll get the rest of the starting lineup here in just a little bit. Noel Diaz is on the mound for the Tigers. Here's the first pitch. It's in for a called strike one. Diaz gets the first pitch for a strike. Around the outfield, you have Brian Ventura. Diohan Sabalos is in left field. Second pitch is just a little bit inside for ball one. So 1-1 count. In right field for the Tigers, Logan Holtz. So that's the outfield for MCC. We'll get the infield here when we get some time. Here's the pitch from Diaz. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball down. And he quickly jumps ahead of Miller, 1-2. Travis Miller on the season again hitting .411. Doesn't strike out all that often. And Diaz coming right back out of the windup. And that ball is fouled off to the left side as Miller will stay alive. So Miller fouls it off. Around the infield for MCC, you have Luis Duran at third base. And Manuel Lopez at shortstop. Bennett Lopez at second base. And first base is Joel Rochauer. That pitch is a little bit high and outside for ball two. So a 2-2 count on the leadoff hitter for Ellsworth. So Miller, the leadoff hitter for the Panthers, digs back in out of the right side. He swings, grounds it to third. Duran picks it, throws on to first, and the opening out is retired by the Tigers as Luis Duran throws out Travis Miller. So a 5-3 putout as Duran gets his man Miller, and out to the plate will be Jace Grant. So 1 up, 1 down here in the first inning. Beautiful day for baseball here this afternoon from Marshalltown. So Diaz will look in for the sign as Grant steps in again from the right side. Here's the pitch. That's right down the middle. It's shot towards the hole. Picked up by Lopez. Long throw. It's over the head of the first baseman. And that's going to be recovered by Embry to hold the runner at first. But that will go as a, we'll see if that's a hit or an error. It's a tough error if it is an error, as Grant will reach base. And we'll see. Looks like they are going to give that a hit. So that is a hit for Jace Grant, and that'll be a single for the Panthers. So Grant now on first base as Fleek steps in. Fleek hitting .333 on the season. And Diaz will have to work out of the stretch for the first time here this afternoon. He looks in, checks the runner. Here's the pitch. It's grounded towards short. A chance for a double play. Lopez to Bennett Lopez on to first, and he turns it over. That's a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning as Fleet grounds into a 6-4-3 double play, and the Tigers will be coming to bat. Just 1 hit, no runs allowed, 1 hit, and no errors, as MCC will be coming to bat here in their half of the first inning. That'll give us some time to look at the starters for Ellsworth Community College. Around the outfield, you have Brody Kunzman. And left field, Travis Miller's in center field, Christopher Phillips in right field. At first base is Evan Straw. Second base is Nick Pearson. Shortstop, Jonathan Fleek. And third base, Roberto Prado. And then catching for the Panthers is David James. And on the mound for Ellsworth Community College is Sammy Markle. So Markle on the mound for the Panthers And for MCC, this is what their starting lineup looks like. You have number 3, Brian Ventura. Number 2, Bennett Lopez. He's at second base. Number 10, Emmanuel Lopez is at shortstop. Number 19, Luis Duran is the third baseman. Number 6, Logan Holtz, the right fielder. Number 28, Diatin Sabalos, he's the left fielder. Number 30, Hunter Embray is the catcher. And number 15, Joel Roshauer is the first baseman. So looking at Markle, this is actually his first start of the season. The other appearances he had came in relief, so this is his first starting appearance. He's pitched 10 innings on the season. He's got a 4.5 ERA for Ellsworth Community College. The Panthers coming into this game at 3-17. MCC is 12-7 overall. So Brian Ventura will lead it off for the Tigers. He shakes hand with the umpire and steps in. So Ventura on the season, he's hitting .333. And the opening pitch from Markle is in there for a called strike on the inside corner. Bottom of the first inning here from Sean Williams Field, still scoreless between MCC and Ellsworth. Ventura digging in from the right side. Here's the pitch from Markle. It's swung and drove down the left field line. That's going to be a fair ball into the corner. Ventura rounds first. He's headed for second, and he's going to be in there standing with a leadoff double. So Ventura with a leadoff double, and MCC with a good chance to get a run here in this first inning. It's kind of a hanging slider it looked like from here, and Ventura jumped all over it and sent it right down the left field line deep into the corner. And now Bennett Lopez will see what the Tigers want him to do as head coach Rich Greif down the side or down at the third base coach box, giving him instructions. He's got to get that runner over to third base with nobody out. Lopez stands in from the right side. Markle checks Ventura. Here's the pitch. It's swung and grounded towards short. Recovering it there and making the play is the Ellsworth shortstop. That's Jonathan Fleek, and on to first, and Lopez is retired. Lopez retired on the 6-3 putout, and that'll bring up Emmanuel Lopez as Bennett Lopez grounds out, and Ventura stuck at second base. So Lopez steps in on the season. He's hitting .475, and he's drove in 24 runs. Also has 3 home runs. Looking in is Markle. Fakes the throw to second. Now drives to the plate. It's a little chopper. Fleet coming on. It gets by him. Ventura's coming around. He's going to score standing. And MCC will take a 1-0 lead. So a little chopper there by Emmanuel Lopez gets through. That's going to be an RBI and a lead for the Tigers of 1-0. We'll see if they gave it a hit, or is that going to be an error. It wasn't hit off a glove. Looked like just a tough hop. So that's an RBI for Lopez as Duran steps in. Duran, a .386 hitter on the season. As Markle looks in, throws it inside. It's a grounder through the left side of the infield. And rounding second is Lopez. He'll hold right there. And that's another single. This time Luis Duran with a hit. So that's his first hit, and on to second goes Emmanuel Lopez. So Duran with a base hit. Now the Tigers have something going here in the first inning. Logan Holtz, a .343 batter on the season. He's drove in 14 runs, a chance to do some damage here. Just one out here in the bottom of the first inning. Markle looking in. Runners lead from first and second. And Manuel Lopez from second. Duran from first base. So Holtz stands in from the right side. And Markle trying to get on the same page with his catcher. Now looks in. Here's the pitch. It's up a little bit. It's a ground ball towards third. Picked up, thrown on to second. The relay to first is not in time. He will get one runner out as Duran is retired on the 6-4 putout. Holtz reaches on a fielder's choice. So Holtz reaches on the fielder's choice. Lopez goes to third. The play made that time by Prado as he threw it on to second base. So actually a 5-4 putout. And Ceballos now with a chance to drive in another run. Tigers already with a 1-0 lead, and they've got 3 hits here in the first inning. Leading from first base is Holtz, and now time is called. So Holtz leading from first. As standing in is Ceballos. First and third, 2 outs here in the top of the first, or bottom of the first. That ball is hammered towards left center field, and that ball is going to get out of here. Ceballos goes downtown. That is a 3-run homer for Diahan Ceballos, as he just kind of golfed that one out of there, and it carried all the way out to left center field and gone. So a 3-run homer puts the Tigers in front, 4-0. So 4-0 now MCC as they strike for 4 runs here in the bottom of the first inning. That'll bring up Hunter Embry, the 8th man to bat. And that is a 3 RBI hit for Ceballos. So the home run as Embry stands in with the runners clear, and now that one's in the dirt and outside for ball 1. So now 1-0 on the catcher for the Tigers, Hunter Embry. He's hitting .286 on the season. He's also got a little power. He's hit 2 home runs so far. Markle looking in. He's already allowed 4 hits here in the first inning. And the big shot, a 3-run homer by Diahan Ceballos. So Embry stands back in. Markle looks for the sign. Now he's got it. Here's the pitch on the corner and swinging and a miss, strike 1. So Embry now with a 1-1 count. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. MCC with 4 runs here in the first inning. That one is low, but it's going to be swung on and over the top and missed it. Looked like a changeup of some sort that time by the pitcher for the Panthers, Markle. Like a breaking ball, kind of started up and then hit the dirt. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that one is in the dirt. Good stop by Janes. And Markle will even up the count here, 2-2 against Embry. So Embry steps back in, 2-2 count. As Markle trying to get out of this first inning. Here's the pitch. That's inside for ball 3. So now it's 3-2. Oh, the scoreboard says 3-1. I have it as 3, and now they've adjusted. So full count here with 2 outs. Bottom of the first. Here's the pitch. It's swung, driven down to third base, and it gets through the defender as Prado couldn't handle it. It was just a ground ball to third, and Embry will reach. We'll see if he gets a base hit, or are they going to call that an error? That will be an error. So an E5 allows Embry to reach. And that's the first error of the game against the Panthers. So now the first lefty steps in. This is Joel Roseauer. Roseauer steps in. As leading from first is Embry. Roseauer, .217 hitter on the season. Here's the pitch. It's outside for ball 1. Markle has fallen behind a few of the Tigers' hitters, and they've made them pay here in this first inning, putting up 4 runs. 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning, 1-0 count on Roseauer. Here's the pitch. That's a little bit outside, ball 2. A 2-0 count now on Roseauer. Christian Jaworski stands on deck, the designated hitter. 2-0, 2 outs. Hunter Embry leading from first. That one swung, driven towards the middle. That's going to get down. It's driving out towards the right center field gap. Embry goes to third. That's a single for Roseauer. And the Tigers that have something cooking again here in the first inning with runners on first and third. As Embry goes to third on the single. Already the 5th hit for the Tigers here in the first inning. As MCC going all the way through the lineup here in this first inning. Jaworski, the 9th hitter. Means Ventura on deck. He already ripped a double earlier in this inning. Markle's pitch. It's down for ball 1. Runners leading from first and third. Embry on third. Roseauer at first. And Jaworski on the season at .091. for the Tigers. So Markle stares in. Here's the pitch. That's outside for ball 2. So now 2-0, hitters count. You got to think he's looking for a fastball here, Jaworski, but with Ventura on deck, you might want to be patient too with the way he's swinging the bat. Markle looks in, 4-0 MCC here in the bottom of the first inning. The pitch, it's down on the outside corner and swing and a miss for strike 1. So now a 2-1 count on Jaworski. 2-1 as Markle looking in, trying to get out of this first inning with no more damage. Here's the pitch. That's a curveball on the outside corner, strike 2. Pretty good pitch that time by Sammy Markle as he put that one right on the corner, and Jaworski swung through it. Now a 2-2 count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first, 4-0 MCC. There's another same pitch, and Jaworski swings right through it and will strike out swinging. But after 1 inning, MCC scores 4 runs. They get 5 hits and 1 error against the Panthers. 2 runners left on base for the Tigers, but they strike for 4 in the inning, and they'll take a 4-0 lead as we head to the top of the second inning here for MCC. As a good start for the Tigers. The big shot, a 3-run homer by Diahan Sabalos as he took him downtown to left center, and it just kept on carrying and just kept on going and got out of here. MCC has hit quite a few home runs on the season already at 15, so make it 16 so far this year. So the Tigers do have a lot of power, and Sabalos did just that in the first innings. Got to give Diaz a lot of maybe confidence going into this second inning, as he was a little bit erratic there at first. He gave up just the 1 hit, but he did get the double play ball. So we'll see how he does here in the second inning for MCC. A quick run through the outfield alignment for the Tigers, because we kind of got going a little bit late there, so I don't know if you quite got it. You got Diahan Sabalos in left field. Brian Ventura is in center. Logan Holtz in right. Joel Roshauer is the first baseman. Bennett Lopez the second baseman. And Manuel Lopez the shortstop. Luis Duran is the third baseman. And Hunter Embry the catcher. Up for Ellsworth will be David Janes. It'll be Janes, Phillips, and Kuntzman for the Panthers. So Diaz now with a 4-0 lead. See if he comes right after the Panther hitter. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball right down there, hit to right field. Holtz on the run. He'll make a nice running catch out in right field, and that'll retire Janes for the first out. So a line drive out to Holtz, and he runs it down deep in the right field corner there, right before he got to about the foul line. He runs it down and makes the catch. That'll bring up number 6, Christopher Phillips. He's the right fielder for the Panthers. Phillips, a .284 hitter. Diaz coming right after him with a fastball. That one's down and in for ball 1. 4-0 MCC here in the top of the second inning, as they struck for 4 in the bottom of the first. Here's the pitch. That one's just a little bit outside, so ball 2. So a 2-0 count now on Christopher Phillips. And this is where you got to be careful after you got a lot of runs there in that first inning. You don't want to come out and give it all back, but that one's in there for a strike. Looked like a breaking ball, as Diaz able to get that across and got Phillips looking. 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. That one swung line to center. Ventura will run back on it. He'll make the catch, and that's out number 2 here in the inning. So 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the second, as Brian Ventura makes the catch out in center field. And now Kuntzman, the last chance for the Panthers to get a hit here in this second inning to try and keep it alive. Here in the second is Kuntzman, on the season a .240 hitter. He steps in from the right side. Here's the pitch from Diaz. It's in there for a strike as Kuntzman swings through it. Called strike 1 on the swing through, and an 0-1 count here for Diaz trying to get through the top of the second. Here's the pitch. That's swing and a miss on the inside corner. So quickly ahead of Kuntzman, 0-2. See if Diaz might try and work something here with a breaking ball if he comes right after him with the heater. looking in. He's got the sign. Here's the pitch. A swing and a miss. He struck him out swinging. That's the first strikeout of the game for Noel Diaz, and a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Panthers. No hits, no runs, no errors, and nobody left on base for Ellsworth. And that top of the second inning, and now MCC will come right back to the plate. It'll be Brian Ventura to lead off the second inning. He'll be followed by Bennett Lopez and Emmanuel Lopez. So right where they started, they ended the first inning with all 9 batters hitting. Now they'll start the second inning the same way. Ventura led off the game with a double down the left field line, and then was advanced home on a RBI single by Emmanuel Lopez, as he drove in a run on the single, which scored Ventura, as this will be his second bat already in the second inning. The big shot came from Diahan Sabalos, who drove in 3 on a 3-run home run, which put MCC up 4-0 as we start the bottom of the second inning. 5 hits for the Tigers, just 1 hit so far for Ellsworth Community College, and was erased by double play for MCC as they turned a 6-4 3 double play, as Fleet grounded into the double play, and that's been about it against Diaz so far. Ventura will be the leadoff hitter for the Tigers. He'll be followed by Bennett Lopez and Emmanuel Lopez. Diaz so far is through 2 innings, just allowed the 1 hit. He has the 1 strikeout. 1 strikeout so far for Diaz, as Ventura will step in. His first at bat, he lined a double down the left field line, and there is a new pitcher out there for Ellsworth, and that is number 9 for the Panthers. That's Max Gavin. So Max Gavin will come on to pitch for Ellsworth. So already a pitching change after the Tigers lit up Markle for 4 in the first inning. And now Gavin on the mound for the Panthers. Here's the pitch. It's outside, ball 1. So Ventura gets ahead at 1-0 as Gavin, the new pitcher for the Panthers. Here comes the pitch. That one's in there for a strike. So 1-1 count now on the Tigers' leadoff hitter, Brian Ventura. See if we can get some stats on Gavin. On the season, he got a 7.63 ERA. He's pitched 15 1/3. Ventura shows bunt, but it's on the outside corner for a strike. So now it's a 1-2 count. Gavin also has struck out. It's like he's only struck out 6, and he's walked 12. So it can be a little bit wild at times. Here's the pitch. That's outside for ball 2. So Ventura working the count at 2-2. 4-0 MCC here at Sean Williams Field on the campus of Marshalltown Community College. As the pitch is on the way, it's a slider inside, and he struck him out swinging. So Ventura goes down swinging. That's the first out of the inning, as Gavin comes in and immediately gets a strikeout. So that's his 7th strikeout of the season, as Bennett Lopez will come out. He grounded out to third. Or grounded out to short his last time up. So Lopez stands in. Here's the first pitch. That's into dirt for ball 1. So Lopez takes the ball. On the season, Bennett hitting .386. He's got 27 hits so far in the early going. Lopez standing in from the right side. Here's the pitch from Gavin. That's high and outside for ball 2. So Lopez quickly gets ahead of Gavin, 2-0, as Gavin stares in for the sign. Max Gavin on the mound for Ellsworth. Here's the pitch. That's inside, just barely missed him, and that'll be a ball 3. It looked like that was headed right for Bennett Lopez's leg, but able to just kind of curve away from him, but it's still inside for ball 3. So 3-0 count on Lopez. See what he's doing here. Probably taking all the way. That's outside for ball 4. So Lopez draws the walk, and he's down to first base. Bennett Lopez on the season. He's walked 6 times. He also has 6 stolen bases. Hasn't been caught stealing yet, so 6 stolen bases. See if Lopez might want to go. And Manuel, the third batter here in the inning. Ventura struck out. Now Emmanuel Lopez drives one towards the gap. It's going to get around Fleek, looking to advance the third, and now slamming on the brakes is Bennett Lopez. And Emmanuel Lopez has a single, driving Bennett to second. And the Tigers have something going again here in this second inning as Duran will step in. First and second, just 1 out. 4-0 already, MCC.
Number 19, Luis Duran.
So Duran will step in. The big third baseman for the Tigers. And Manuel Lopez leads from first. Bennett Lopez from second. Gavin out of the stretch looking for the sign. Now he's set, looking back. Checks the runner. Now here's the pitch. It's in the dirt. Gets away from the catcher. James is going to get to it, but not before both runners advance. So both runners move up a base as Lopez goes to second. Actually, Lopez the third, Bennett Lopez the third, Emmanuel Lopez the second. So now runners on second and third, just 1 out. 1-0 count on Duran. So Luis Duran, a good chance of driving a couple runs here. On the season, he has 22 RBIs. So a good part of the order for MCC, the cleanup hitter Duran, with a chance to do some damage. 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. It's down, then shot to the second baseman, and it's caught. Line drive caught by Pearson. So Duran lines out, and it's 2 down. Still runners on second and third. That'll bring up Holtz. He hit into a fielder's choice his last time up, as he grounded out to third, and the Panthers got Duran at second. So Holtz steps in. A chance for a 2-out couple of RBIs with a base hit, because with Lopez's speed and Manuel Lopez at second, with his speed, anything down, he's going to score. So Holtz steps in. Gavin will now pitch out of the windup with the runners on second and third. Here is the pitch. That's down low for a ball. So Holtz takes ball 1. On the season, hitting .343. He's also drove in 14 runs. Probably wants to get his 15th and 16th right here. 1-0 count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning for MCC. Looking in is Gavin. Here's the pitch. That's in the dirt, ball 2. So Holtz takes 2. 2-0 count. Sabalos on deck. He's the one that hit the 3-run homer, which put MCC up 4-0. That happened in the first inning. As looking in is Gavin. Holtz digs in. Now he's ready. Here's the windup and the pitch. It's swung, grounded towards second. Pearson has it. Throws on to first, and the inning is over as MCC will strand 2 on the 4-3 putout as Pearson throws it on to Straw. So no runs, 1 hit, and no errors. 2 runners left on base for MCC as Ellsworth will be coming back to bat as Evan Straw will get his first plate appearance for the Panthers. MCC off to a good start here with a 4-0 lead as we head into the top of the third inning. Diaz has only allowed just the 1 hit. It was he just allowed the 1 hit, a single to Jace Grant. That's been it. He's also struck out a batter, and he's gotten a double play ball here in the ball game so far. Diaz the pitcher, Embry the catcher, and coming up to bat will be Evan Straw. Straw, a .227 hitter. He has hit 1 home run with 2 RBIs and 44 at-bats. He has 10 hits, so just a .227 hitter for Straw, the first baseman. As he's a lefty, he'll dig in from the left side of the plate. 4-0 MCC here in the top of the third on the Tiger Sports Network. So Straw will lead off. It's Straw, Prado, and Pearson. Straw hammers one to deep right center, and now Ventura's camped under it. He'll make the catch, and that's one up, one down. Off the bat, it sounded like Straw got that one good, but he must have just got under it, and Ventura able to run it down in center field. That'll bring up Prado. So Roberto Prado will stand in against Diaz. That one's down low for ball one. So Prado will take ball one and jump ahead. Here's the pitch. That one swung and lined off to the left side. That's a strike on a foul ball. Prado on the season, a .224 hitter. Looks like he has a little bit of speed from the left side, so if he hits it on the ground, MCC will have to get to it in a hurry. Here's this pitch. It's down and in, strike two. Well, Prado swings over the top of that one. And a 1-2 count. Diaz a chance to get his second strikeout of the ballgame. He looks in. Here's the pitch. That one's sliced down the left field line. Looks like it's a long run. He dives and he can't make the catch. And it's going to be a foul ball. That was Sabalos deep down in the left field corner. He dove for it but couldn't come up with it. But it is a foul ball. So Sabalos right near the foul line as he dove for that ball. The third base coach for the Panthers was thinking that one was a fair ball, but both umpires said no, it's a foul ball. And now Prado will walk back to the batter's box. So Prado picks up his bat. 4-0 MCC. 1-2 count on Prado. One out already here in the top of the third. Diaz looks in. Here's the pitch. It's down and in. He swings over the top of it. It's a drop third strike. Embry down to first. And that's the second out of the inning. As Roschauer got a little bit excited there. That's a swinging strikeout. As Prado goes down swinging. Second strikeout of the game for Diaz. And stepping in will be number 23, Nick Pearson. So Pearson stands in from the right side. Diaz a chance to get through the top of the third unscathed. Here's the pitch. That's right on the outside corner for strike one. Noel Diaz is starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm. Already two outs here in the top of the third. Here's the pitch. That's a little bit too far outside. Now 1-1 count on the Panthers' second baseman, Pearson. Just a 172 hitter. Here's the pitch. That's down and outside, but he swung over the top of it for strike two. It's like a slider from Diaz, and he got Pearson chasing. See what he tries here. Up 1-2 in the count. There's the pitch. He swung over the top of it again, and he struck him out. Third strikeout of the game for Diaz, and no runs, no hits, no errors or runners left on base for Ellsworth Community College, and MCC will be coming back to the plate. It'll be Sabalos. He's already done a little damage here in the first inning. Back in the first inning, he hit a 3-run home run. Sammy Mark only pitched the one inning, giving up 4 runs. He pitched the one inning, gave up 4 runs and 5 hits, and they did have one error in the ball and one error in the inning, and it was a 4-run inning for Markle. He did not walk anybody or commit or hit anybody, so he also didn't strike anybody out, but he did allow 5 hits in that first inning. Max Gavin came in the second inning, and he gave up just the walk and was able to work around it. Runners on first and third, and then second and third with 2 outs, but MCC was unable to capitalize, as now the Tigers will have Sabalos, followed by Embry and Roschauer. So Sabalos will lead it off. He's already tagged the Panther pitching for a 3-run homer. So Dioan Sabalos will step in, the left fielder for MCC. To start this bottom of the third inning, on deck is Embry. And then after him is Joel Roschauer. Here's the pitch from Gavin. It's down and in. Ground ball to third. Picking up is Prado. Throws on to Straw. And one away here in the bottom of the third inning. So a 5-3 put out as Sabalos grounds out to start the third. And now Embry will step in. Hunter Embry hitting .286. He reached on a fielder's choice back in the first inning. And now here is the pitch. It's swung. It's driven towards center. Backing up a couple steps is Miller. He'll make the catch. And Embry lines out to center for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down here in this bottom of the third inning for the Tigers. Standing in will be Roshauer. Roshauer singled back in the first inning. So Roshauer singled back in the first. On deck is Jaworski. So looking in is Gavin. Here's the pitch. That one's in there for a called strike 1. Well, it looked like a breaking ball of some sort, and he got it on the inside corner. Well, now Gavin will look in, looking for a sign. He's already got 2 up, 2 down in the inning. Now here's the pitch. That one's a little bit high and tight. So 1-1 count now on Roshauer. Roshauer already 1 for 1 with a single, hitting .217 on the season. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a slider on the inside corner for a strike. So Roshauer gets ahead with a 1-2 count and 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Looking in is Gavin. Here's the pitch. Same pitch right on the outside corner, and Roshauer strikes out looking. That's the second strikeout for the Panther pitcher, Max Gavin. So the second K for Gavin, as we'll head on to the top of the fourth inning here on the Tiger Sports Network. It's a beautiful day for baseball here in the spring in Iowa. You never know what you're going to get when you start spring baseball. Sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's rainy, but today overall a pretty nice day for MCC Tiger baseball here from Sean Williams Field. Diaz pitching pretty good through the first 3, as he's only allowed just the 1 hit. He's also struck out 2 batters, actually struck out 3 batters, and the top of the order is going to be coming up for Ellsworth. It'll be Travis Miller, Jace Grant, and Jonathan Fleek. Miller grounded out to third in the first inning, and then Grant singled and Fleek grounded into a double play. So as we get set to start this top of the fourth inning, it is 4-0 MCC. They've out-hit Ellsworth 6 hits to 1 hit, and just the 1 error so far committed by the Panthers, as they had a ground ball go through the third baseman, I believe was who it was. That's how Embry actually reached. It wasn't a fielder's choice. He reached on the E5. So that's how Embry reached back in the first inning, but then he lined out to center in the third. So Miller will lead it off. He is a .411 hitter on the season. As Diaz looks to get the pitch in, that one's low for ball 1. So taking the first pitch is Miller for a ball as he stands in. Diaz looks in for the sign. Here's the pitch. It's swung and tapped foul. And it's a 1-1 count, as Miller just able to get a little bit of a piece of that, but didn't hit enough of it. He just kind of fouls it off towards the on-deck circle. 1-1 count, as Diaz working pretty quickly, just allowed the 1 hit, and that one's hammered towards the left side and through, as Miller has his first hit of the ball game. It's going to be a single through the left side, and he's on first base. The leadoff hitter, Travis Miller, only the 1 stolen base so far. So even though he's a leadoff hitter, it's just the 1 stolen base. That'll bring up Jace Grant. He had a hit back in the first inning. And with Miller on base, see what the Panthers try to do here. So nobody out, runner on first as Grant steps in. Miller leads from first. Here's the pitch. That's high and tight for ball 1. So Grant takes the ball. Miller took a ball to start his first at bat, so maybe a little more patience will be shown by Ellsworth here in this fourth inning, as Diaz was cruising through there in the first three. And that one's inside, nearly hit him, bounces right back to Embry, but he can't handle it. And that's going to go as a wild pitch. And on to second will be Travis Miller, and now a 2-0 count against Jace Grant. So a 2-0 count for Grant. As out to settle down his pitcher is Embry, as Diaz just let that one get away from him. And now Embry jogs back behind the plate. The catcher for the Tigers. As Diaz looks in. Diaz, a freshman for MCC. As he stares in for the sign. 2-0 count. Nobody out here in the top of the fourth inning. And now time is called by Grant. So Grant calls time. Diaz, the right-handed pitcher, the freshman out of the Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. So Diaz looks in. He's got his sign. Here's the pitch. That's in the dirt for ball 3. So it's a 3-0 count now against Jace Grant. So I would expect Grant not to be swinging with the third hitter Fleet coming up. He's got 11 runs batted in. We'll see what the Panthers played as. Got to think the red light is on. Here's the pitch. That's high, ball 4. So a walk to Grant. And now runners on first and second. Nobody out, as Fleet will step in. Last time, Ellsworth had a runner on first when Fleet came to the plate, and he grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. So Fleet looks down to get the sign. 4-0 MCC. Nobody out, though, in the top of the fourth for the Panthers. So Diaz in a little bit of trouble. Could use a ground ball here. He got one from Fleet back in the first. See what happens here as he looks in. Leading from first and second for runners for Ellsworth, and that's in the dirt for a ball. So Diaz just getting a little bit wild here in the fourth inning. On the season, he's walked 8 and struck out 15, so pretty good control for the most part for Noel Diaz. 1-0 count here against the third hitter Fleek. As Diaz checks the runner at second. Now here's the pitch, and that's just a little bit low for a ball. So a 2-0 count now after walking Grant. And now he's back in a hole at 2-0. Fleek, a dangerous hitter for Ellsworth, hitting .333. He does have 3 doubles on the season. Here's the pitch. He swings and misses for strike 1. He tried to hold up, but the umpire said no, he didn't hold up, and that's a strike. Might have been calling it a strike anyway. Either way, 2-1 count for Diaz against Fleek. Diaz looks in. Miller leading from second, and that pitch is just outside. Embry tried to bring it back in, but couldn't get the strike, and now it's a 3-1 count as Diaz has slowed down his pace just a little bit here in this fourth inning. He's pitching out of the stretch. He hasn't had to pitch out of the stretch much in the ball game, as Ellsworth went 3 up, 3 down in the second and third innings. Diaz looking in. There's the pitch. It's a ground ball to second. Lopez bobbles it, gets it to short, and they'll only get the 1, but a good play by Bennett Lopez as he's able to get the out as he throws it on to Emmanuel Lopez. Don't know if they'll been able to double up Fleek or not, but he'll reach on the fielder's choice. Miller goes to third. Grant is retired on the 4-6 putout at second. Well, that's the first out here in this top of the fourth inning as David Janes steps in. Janes, with 11 RBIs on the season, also has hit a home run. So Janes has a little bit of power, a .292 hitter. Fleek over at first base. See if The Panthers put on a running play. See if Fleek tries to run. He does have a pretty healthy lead over at first. That's grounded to first. Good play by Rochauer, but he threw it away. He throws it into left field. On to third base will come Fleek. A run in to score is Miller. As Miller comes around to score, the error is going to send Janes, or it's going to put Janes on first base, so that'll be an E3. Rochauer tried to make the right play, but then he threw it into left field. Fleek goes to third base on the error. That's the first error for the Tigers, and it's 4-1 as Miller comes in to score. So Miller gets the run, and still just one out. Runners on first and third for Christopher Phillips.
No batting number 6.
So Phillips steps in. He lined out to right field his first time up. Here's the pitch. It's off the plate for a ball. So Phillips takes a ball. 4-1 MCC. Got the big 3-run homer from Sabalos in the first inning. And now Ellsworth trying to answer. Here's the pitch. That's inside. Swing and a miss. Strike one. So Phillips swung right over the top of that. Looked like a slider. As Emmanuel Lopez coming in to, like he was trying to get a sign maybe from his catcher. Might have been just trying to motivate Diaz. Looking for the ground ball to get out of the inning. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on the inside corner to strike two. So he's ahead of Christopher Phillips with a 1-2 count. Diaz trying to notch his 4th strikeout of the ball game. It would be a big one here with just one out. Phillips just trying to put it in play, and except for a double play ball, as the Tigers are positioned in double play depth. As Bennett Lopez and Emmanuel Lopez at short and second, hoping for a ground ball. Here's the pitch. That's high for a ball. So 2-2 count now against Christopher Phillips. Phillips on the season has 14 RBIs. Has hit 3 home runs, so he does have a little bit of power. Diaz looking in. Leading from first base is Janes. Fleek from third. Here's the pitch. It's swing and a miss. He struck him out. Throw down to second. Here he comes back to the plate. Play at the plate. He got him at the plate. He's out. A double play turned by the Tigers ends the inning as Phillips strikes out. And then retired at the plate is Jonathan Fleek on a 2-6 back to 2 putout as Fleek is retired on the play. But 1 run comes in to score for Ellsworth. They do get a couple of hits as they got the walk and a couple of hits in the inning. Just the 1 hit actually, and the error against MCC doesn't come back to haunt them as they get the double play. So a big double play there for the Tigers, gets them out of the inning, and just the one base runner left on base as the other one was retired at home plate. New pitcher into the ball game for Ellsworth Community College will be, looks like it's number 24. That's Zach Kleefoth will come into the game. Only pitched 4 2/3 innings so far. So already the 3rd pitcher used by the Panthers. So Zach Kleefoth then for Ellsworth. And MCC will start at the bottom of the order with Christian Jaworski. Jaworski will lead off the bottom of the 4th inning. He'll be followed by Brian Ventura and Bennett Lopez. So out on the mound, again, new pitcher, it's Zach Kleefoth. So Kleefoth, a 7.71 ERA so far this season. He's allowed 8 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs. He's walked 4 and struck out 2. So stepping in will be Jaworski for the Tigers. So Ellsworth gets their first run of the ball game. That last inning is Miller would have scored probably anyway, although you might have made an argument if you turn the double play, he doesn't score, but it was going to be a tough double play for Rochauer. Tried to throw it to second and threw it into left field. So Miller scored anyway. Now Kleefoth's first pitch is outside, ball 1. So Jaworski will lead off the fourth. 4-1 MCC here on the Tiger Sports Network. Clefaw's second pitch, and that one swung and driven down the left field line, but it's going to go well out of play and foul. So strike one and ball one, so an even count here on Jaworski. The left-handed hitting designated hitter for the Tigers. Here's the pitch. That's a breaking ball. Looked like a curveball of some sort. It's picked up by the defender over there for the Tigers Straw, and he'll beat Jaworski to the bag, and that'll be a 3 put out. And one away here in the fourth inning. So one out in the fourth. Brian Ventura will come in. He's doubled and struck out in the ball game. 4-1 MCC. As looking in is Clefaw. Now Ventura calls time. The right-handed hitter for the Tigers. Ventura, the sophomore outfielder, as he tried to bunt and couldn't get it, and that'll be strike one. Ventura trying to keep the third baseman on his toes, although he is playing in a little bit. That's Prado over there at third base. And now Clefaw out of a windup. Here's the pitch. It's going to be chopped right back to him. He makes the play, races over to first, tosses on to Straw, and that's 2 up, 2 down. So Ventura is retired. Well, he's now 1 for 3 in the ball game. That'll bring up Bennett Lopez, as he walked his last time up and was stranded at third base. So Lopez will stand in from the right side. A sophomore second baseman for the Tigers, as he takes inside for ball one. So 1-0 count now, 2 down here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Here's the pitch. It's down and away, ball 2. So Lopez drew a walk his last time up, and now he's up 2-0 here in this at-bat. On the season, Lopez a .386 hitter. Here's the pitch. That's high for ball 3. So Lopez, now a 3-0 count, can be awfully patient here, as we'll see what Clefaw does. Here's the pitch, and Lopez swinging on a 3-0 count, and he got a good rip at it, but it's going to be foul. So with 2 outs, gave Lopez the green light, and he got a good shot at it, but just a little bit late, and he fouled it off to the right side. It's like down by the Tiger bullpen. And now a 3-1 count. Gets that fastball again. Lopez could maybe drive it to the gap. Here's the pitch. That's up, and that's going to be a ball as they appeal down to first base, and Lopez draws the walk. So second walk of the game for Bennett Lopez. See if Lopez might do some running here with 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth inning. He has 6 stolen bases on the season, as Emmanuel Lopez steps in. With 2 outs, it wouldn't be a bad time to try and get a runner in scoring position. Looking in, it's Clefaw. Here's the pitch. That's outside for a ball. But the way Clefaw has struggled a little bit with his control after getting the first 2 easy ground outs, and now he's falling behind 2 straight Tiger hitters. A 1-0 count, 2 outs at the bottom of the fourth. And Manuel Lopez at the plate. There goes Bennett Lopez. It was a hit and run. Lopez the throw to the second, and he's out at second base. So cutting him down is James. He gets Bennett Lopez running, and he'll be retired on the 2-6 put out on the stolen base attempt. And just the 1 runner, or no runners left on base, as we head to the top of the 5th inning. Diaz still out there for the Tigers on the mound. He just allowed his first run in the last inning. And coming up for the Panthers will be Brody Kunzman, Evan Straw, and Roberto Prado. So Kunzman, Straw, and Prado coming to the plate, as Embry, the big catcher for the Tigers, playing catch with Diaz. Diaz again, a freshman right-handed pitcher from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. And he's pitched fairly well here through the first 4 innings. As we start the top of the 5th, a very fast-moving ball game so far here from Sean Williams Field. 4-1 MCC on top here on the Tiger Sports Network, leading Ellsworth Community College. Bennett Lopez will field the throwdown from Embry. And will step in will be Kunzman. So Brady Kunzman, the left fielder, struck out back in the 2nd inning, just his 2nd at bat. Diaz has done a pretty good job keeping the Panthers off base. The last inning got a little bit wild after he gave up the single, but he only allowed 1 run, so pretty good damage control as he gets a strike to start the 5th inning. So Kunzman swings over the top of that pitch, looked like a changeup, and it's 0-1. The Tigers have out hit the Panthers 6-2, and that's outside for a ball. So 1-1 count. Kunzman on the season, again a .240 hitter. Standing in from the right side, and that's a little bit low. So Diaz falling behind Kunzman. That's a dangerous game when you start falling behind hitters. That's when you can pay for it. And he gets the pop-up, though, in the infield. It's skied high, and Manuel Lopez will get under it, make the catch, and that's 1 away here in the top of the 5th. So Kunzman tried to jump all over that pitch, and he skied it straight up in the air in the infield. And Lopez and Manuel Lopez made the catch. That'll bring up Straw. He flew out to center field his last time, as Ventura ran one down, but Straw hit. Now he'll ground it to second. Bennett Lopez fields it off to the right, throws on to Rojauer, and 2 up, 2 down. This could be a nice quick inning for Diaz after he threw quite a few pitches back in the 4th inning. He's already got 2 outs here in the top of the 5th.
Now batting, number 5, Roberto Prado.
As Prado stands in. Diaz coming right after him, throws the inside fastball for a strike. So 0-1 count now on Prado. As he stands in from the left-hand side, here's the pitch. That one's grounded towards first, but it's going to roll foul. And it will be a 0-2 count against the 3rd baseman for the Panthers. So Diaz a chance to get his 5th strikeout, or his 4th strikeout rather, as he looks in. Pitching out of the windup, see if he tries to get Prado to chase. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. So he strikes out Prado. So a 3 up, 3 down inning for MCC. Good inning that time for Diaz as he responds after giving up the run back in the 4th inning. He's able to get out of it here in the 5th. And coming to the plate now for the Tigers will be Manuel Lopez, who was at the plate when Bennett Lopez was thrown out at second base. You'll have Manuel Lopez, Luis Duran, and Logan Holtz. So Luis Duran and Logan Holtz after Manuel Lopez. Gleefoth will stay on the mound for Ellsworth, as they've already thrown 3 pitchers here. He's the 3rd pitcher for the Panthers in the ballgame. The first pitcher, Markle, gave up 5 hits and 4 runs. Also had the 1 error. I don't know what the earned run average or the earned runs were, but a 3-run homer was the big shot so far in the ballgame. That was by Sabalos as he took one out to deep left center, which gave MCC a 4-0 lead at the time. The Panthers are able to rally for 1 run in the top of the 4th inning, and now MCC gets out of the top of the 5th, and now we'll be coming to bat here in the bottom of the 5th. 4-1 is our score. Andy Jennings with you from the Sean Williams Field here on the campus of Marshalltown Community College. And Manuel Lopez will step in. .475 hitter on the season. He's the leading hitter for the Tigers. He's got 28 hits, 5 doubles, 3 home runs. And Lopez hammers one towards left center on the run. He's not going to get to it. That's off the wall. It's down in front of the fence. The long throw in as Lopez will lead off the bottom of the fifth with a double. So Lopez doubles as he hammered that one out to left as Kunzman couldn't run it down. And the Tigers have something going here as Duran will step in with nobody out. And then Manuel Lopez at second. His sixth double of the season. A quick chat by Janes with Clefoth, excuse me. As Duran steps in, a chance to give the Tigers back that 4-run lead. You always want it to be at least a 4-run lead, and then you're right in Grand Slam territory. You'd like it to be out of Grand Slam territory, but you don't want to be inside Grand Slam territory. Duran drives one up the middle. That's going to get through. The runner Lopez had to hang back, and he's going to be held at third. And Duran with a single. So back-to-back hits to start the fifth inning. A double by Lopez and a single for Duran as runners at first and third for the Tigers with Holtz at the plate. Nobody out. So a couple of hits. Ellsworth does have... Looks like number 21 is down in the bullpen for the Panthers. Can't quite tell the number, but there is a pitcher down there. He's a lefty throwing for Ellsworth Community College down in the bullpen. So the lefty is up and getting loose as Holtz a chance to give MCC back a nice cushion with a base hit here. Even a sac fly gets the run in. That's going to be inside on the corner for a strike. Well, just want to get the run in here from third base as Manuel Lopez leads from third. Duran from first. Both with pretty good leads. That's a curveball, and it hung up there, and Holtz was all over it, but he was a little bit out in front. And now an 0-2 count. This is where Holtz has to battle, and you don't want to strike out here. Only struck out 3 times so far. 0-2 count, nobody out, runners on first and third. Clefoth looking in, here's the pitch. It's lined towards center field, it's hammered towards deep right center. Out there is Miller, he can't get it, it's off the fence. Miller picks it up, throwing back towards the infield. Duran coming around, Lopez will score, into third with a sliding triple as Holtz. As Lopez and Duran score on the RBI triple, a 2-run triple by Logan Holtz, and MCC opens their lead back up to 6-1. So a good at bat there by Holtz, got the pitch he wanted, drove it out to right center, and he's got a 2-run triple. So a big hit there by Holtz as he hammered that one to right center, kept carrying, thought it might get out of here. And now Savalos at the plate. He did carry one out of here back in the first for a 3-run shot. So a 2-run triple by Holtz. And there's the pitch on the outside corner for a strike to Savalos. So Savalos takes a strike. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Looking in is Clefoth. He's got his sign. Here's the pitch. It's a changeup. It's tapped towards the third baseman. Prado picks it up. Long throw. It's picked out of the dirt by Straw. And Savalos is out on the play. Good play that time by Prado. Was in the dirt, but Straw was able to dig it out. And Savalos is retired. Holtz will stay at third base. Good read that time by Holtz as he didn't take off too early, because sometimes when he kind of a short chopper like that, you can get in between and then you get tagged out. As Savalos having a conversation with the first base coach as Embry will call time. So Embry, a chance to drive in a run here with just a fly ball or even a ground ball, unless it's the third base. Ellsworth playing back. He swings over the top of that one for strike one. The Panthers not looking like they're trying to cut off the run. Prado is staying in just a touch. But for the most part, a ground ball anywhere else should be enough to get a run home. Here's Clefoth's pitch, and that's in the dirt for a ball. As Embry a chance to give MCC a 6-run lead with a base hit here. 6-1 Tigers. They've out-hit Ellsworth 9-2. Here's the pitch. It's flown to right field. Under it is Phillips. He might have a play at the plate. Here comes the throw. It's going to be on line to the plate. He's caught it, but did he tag him? He did not. And scoring will be Holtz. Though Phillips' throw was a little bit up the line, and Janes couldn't handle the throw, and in to score will be Holtz, as the sac fly will go to Hunter Embry. So a RBI for Embry on the sac fly. So good job that time by Embry getting the runner in. And now Roshauer will step to the plate. He struck out and singled. He's 1 for 2. 1-0 count, 7-1 MCC with the lead. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. And that one's a little bit high. Roshauer's swing is going to be, nope, he did hold up. As he appealed down to first base, but Roshauer did hold up. As he's standing in from the left side. 2-0 count. That one's right on the outside corner for a strike. So now 2-1 on Roshauer. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Looking in is Clefoth. There's the pitch. That's a little bit, looks like they are going to give them a strike there. Thought it looked a little bit outside, but right on the corner. And it's 2-2 count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch. That one's a little bit down for ball 3. So Roshauer putting together a nice at-bat with a full count. Looking in is Clefoth. 3-2 count. Here's the pitch. Grounded towards first. Able to get it as Straw. Lobs on to first. It's a close play, but he does just beat him as Clefoth able to just outrun Roshauer. And that'll be a 3-1 putout to end at the bottom of the 5th inning. So MCC gets 3 runs on 3 hits with no errors and leaves nobody on base. So the Tigers leading 7-1 as we head in to the top of the 6th inning. Diaz still out there. He's been the starting pitcher, and he's pitched pretty well for MCC here today. As Embry back off the bench after his sacrifice fly. And 7-1 MCC with the lead. Ellsworth will have Nick Pearson, Travis Miller, and Jace Grant coming up in the inning. Pearson struck out back in the 3rd inning. This will be only his 2nd at bat. Here to lead off the top of the 6th. It's kind of that dangerous spot, though, where you have the bottom of the order and then you roll right into the top of the order, where the Panthers have some of their really good hitters, and Travis Miller and Jace Grant and Jonathan Fleek, all 3 of those guys, they're top average hitters. So important to get Pearson here to start the top of the 6th for Diaz. 7-1 MCC with the lead.
Leading off the top of the 6th for Ellsworth, number 23.
So Pearson will step in. He struck out back in the 3rd. Here's the pitch. That's inside for a ball. So Pearson 0 for 1 with the strikeout. As Diaz has struck out. As swing and a miss for strike 1. Diaz has struck out 5 batters here in the ball game for MCC. Here's the pitch. That's down and in for ball 2. So 2-1 count. Does appear like a couple of arms starting to loosen up in the Tiger bullpen. Can't quite see who's down there, but they are starting to get a few arms loosened in the bullpen. That changeup stayed up high. So now a 3-1 count. You don't want to walk the bottom of the order to start this 6th inning. As Diaz looks in, here's the pitch. It's a grounder to short, and Manuel Lopez gets the hop, throws on to first, and that's one away. So Lopez throws out Pearson, and one out. That was the 3-1 count, swinging for the fastball, but a good pitch by Diaz, got it down and in, and Pearson rolled right over the top of it. That'll bring up Travis Miller. He singled back in the fourth. 7-1, Tigers on top of the Panthers. There's the pitch, right in there for a strike. So Diaz jumps ahead of Miller at 0-1. What you want to do with a good lead, get ahead of about every hitter. And that one is swung and popped up towards the left side. Looks like it's going to get out of play. There's a few Tigers over. Duran and Lopez had a look, but it is out of play. Now quickly ahead of Travis Miller. 2 strikes and no balls. So 2-0 here. Miller has struck out 9 times. So Miller is a candidate to strike out. See if Diaz can get him here. Here's the pitch. He swings over the top of it. Going to be a tough play. Diaz makes it. Fires into the dirt. It gets away from Roshauer. That's going down the right field line. Picking up will be Holtz. Miller will jog into second. We'll see if they give the error to... Looks like it's going to be Diaz on the error. That'll be an E1. And Miller goes to second on the error, so that's the second error for MCC. And Travis Miller to second base, just 1 out for the Panthers, and Jace Grant at the plate. He walked his last time up. He's 1 for 1 with a walk and a single. Grant, a .345 hitter. Looking in is Diaz. Here's the pitch. It's just a bit upstairs for a ball. So Diaz misses a little bit high. So 1-0 on Grant. 1 out. Miller leading from second. Here's the pitch. It's down. It's going to be shot towards short. And Manuel Lopez goes to third. He tried to get Miller, and he's out. Lopez throws on to third, and Duran puts the tag on Travis Miller, and he is out at third base. So that'll be a put out as Grant will reach on the fielder's choice, and Miller cut down on the 6-5 putout. So Miller cut down on the 6-5 putout from Emmanuel Lopez to Luis Duran. Heads up play there by Lopez, just threw it to third to get him, and he was able to get him in time. Outside for ball 1. Jonathan Fleek at the plate. He's grounded into a double play, and he reached on a fielder's choice. And that pitch is high and tight for ball 2. So 2-0 now against Fleek. The third hitter for the Panthers, a .333 hitter. So he is dangerous. Runner from first is Grant. Here's the pitch. And that's outside for a ball. So Diaz here in the top of the 6th inning. Might be tiring just a touch, as he's pitching out of the stretch. Has a nice lead, and that's inside for ball 4. So Fleek walks. And on to second base will be Jace Grant. And that'll bring up the cleanup hitter for the Panthers in David James. So the catcher will bat here in the inning. Looks like a lefty is down in the bullpen for the Tigers. Can't see the number from here, and there is the time. And no, it's going to be a balk. So a balk is called against Diaz. So Diaz is called for a balk. Fleet goes on to second. On to third will be Jace Grant, as the balk is called. Now out to the mound for a visit here for the Tigers. See what they decide to do, as they do have some arms loosening in the bullpen. Looks like they're going to stay with Diaz here, but now runners on second and third. For the catcher, David James, he's lined out to right, and he reached on an error. So James lined out to right and reached on an error. He has 11 RBIs so far this season. So Greif will stay with Diaz with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Here's the pitch. It's swing and right into the catcher's glove for a strike. So James falls behind 0-1. Good start for Diaz. You want to jump ahead of the hitter here. Runners on second and third. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Inside. He hit him. Diaz hits James. And now the bases are loaded for Christopher Phillips. And he is a left-handed hitter. If that left-handed pitcher getting loosened for Christopher Phillips. Embry comes right back out. And that looks to be exactly what it is. As the coach, Rich Greif, looking down, and he is going to make the change as he'll walk out to the mound. A good job by Diaz. He goes 5 2/3, but unable to get out of this 6th inning as he will, well, we'll see if he'll depart. Looks like he is going to depart, and he will depart as we'll see what number it is coming in. Can't quite tell. Looks like it's number 21, maybe 27. So a new pitcher coming on to pitch for the Tigers. It's number 23. That is Juan Carlos Gonzalez. So the left-hander from Piedra Blanca, Dominican Republic, will come on to face Christopher Phillips with the bases loaded. A key at bat coming up here as the hit by pitch loaded him up. So we'll see what happens here. As on the mound again is Juan Carlos Gonzalez. So Gonzalez will take the mound. And some numbers for Gonzalez. A 2.14 ERA, pretty good. He's got 2 saves on the season. He's pitched 21 innings, given up 17 hits, 12 runs, 5 earned runs. He struck out 32 and only walked 11. So one of the big guns in the bullpen for MCC is coming on, the little lefty Juan Carlos Gonzalez. So Gonzalez, the 5'11" freshman, on to pitch. Diaz with a pretty good outing here for MCC as he allows just 2 hits in 5 2/3. 2 hits. Just the 1 run, and he also struck out. See, I got the wrong sheet there. He struck out 5 in the ball game. So Diaz strikes out 5, allows just the 1 earned run. He also walked. He walked 2. So 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. He allows 2 hits. He is in line for the victory as he's able to go the 5 innings. He goes 5 2/3. Couldn't quite get out of the 6th. And that'll bring up Christopher Phillips. A big at-bat here in this ballgame. Phillips, a .284 hitter, 14 RBIs. And the bases are loaded for Phillips. He does have some power. He has hit 3 home runs. Gonzalez, one of the better pitchers for the Tigers out of the bullpen. See what he can do here with 2 outs, trying to get MCC out of this bases loaded jam. Top of the 6th inning. Phillips stands in. Here's Gonzalez's pitch. Swing and a miss on a slider. Good pitch to start, as Gonzalez had Phillips way out in front of that, as he swung that slider from right at the hitter to almost off the plate. A nasty pitch there from Gonzalez. He looks in. Here's the pitch. That one's in the dirt. Gets away from Embry. Runner coming to the plate. Embry can't handle it. Scoring from third is Grant. And on to third will be Fleek. As we'll see if that's a wild pitch or a pass ball. As the run comes in, James on to second, Fleek on to third, and it's 7-2. So 7-2 now, as that run will be charged to Diaz as he allowed Grant to get on base with a walk. And looking in is Gonzalez. Here's the pitch. It's grounded towards first. It's going to be a tough play. Gonzalez trying to cover. He's not going to get there. And that's going to be an infield hit for Christopher Phillips. A run comes in. And that'll be an RBI infield hit. Janes goes on to third. And suddenly a 7-1 ball game is now 7-3. Well, a tough break that time for Gonzalez. He made a good pitch, but Phillips just chopped it into the ground towards the right side, and Bennett Lopez couldn't beat him to the bag. It was just one of those balls right in no man's land, and Phillips able to beat it out. He leads from first. Here's the pitch. It's just off the outside for a ball. Kunzman steps in as Gonzalez trying to get out of the inning. He came in with the bases loaded. One run scored on the pass ball, and that ball is up the middle. Lopez, a nice stop. He'll step on second, and Bennett Lopez will make the play. And Gonzalez gets the Tigers out of the inning. So able to make the play is Bennett Lopez. He'll do a 4 put out, but 2 runs score, just the 1 hit, and no errors, and 2 runners left on base for the Panthers. So a good play that time by Lopez, gets MCC out of it, but only a 7-3 ball game as Ellsworth gets 2 here in that inning. So a couple innings there. Diaz had a little bit of trouble, left a couple runs on, and those were all earned runs against Diaz, so he'll have 3 earned runs against him, and 3 runs and 3 earned runs against him. New pitcher on the mound for the Panthers is number 21 for Ellsworth Community College. That is TJ Cardenas. So Cardenas takes the mound. So Cardenas on the mound for Ellsworth, number 21. And to bat will be Jaworski. So Cardenas will hit or pitch for Ellsworth. On the season, he is, let's see, Cardenas is got an 11 ERA. He's only pitched in 6 appearances. He does have 4 starts on the season, 18 2/3. He's allowed 35 hits, 30 runs. He has walked 11 and struck out 15. So lefty will take the mound for the Panthers, as the MCC will have Jaworski, Ventura, and Bennett Lopez coming up. So Jaworski will lead off. He struck out and grounded out to first. Bottom of the 5th inning, or bottom of the 6th inning, rather. Christian Jaworski will lead it off. Again, he struck out and grounded out to first. As looking in is the pitch, and that one's hammered foul. That's Cardenas on the mound. And strike 1. Jaworski, a freshman outfielder from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. The lefty standing in. That pitch is inside for a ball. So now 1-1 count as Cardenas on the mound. 7-3 Tigers on top of the Panthers here on the Tiger Sports Network. And that pitch is in the dirt, but swinging through it is Jaworski. Pretty good curveball that time. Now a 1-2 count. So 1-2 on Jaworski. Looking in is Cardenas. Here's the pitch. Another curveball, and he struck him out swinging. So Jaworski strikes out on back-to-back curveballs, and that's the first out of the inning. Ventura will come to the plate. He doubled back in the first and then struck out and grounded into a 1-3 putout. Grounded out to the pitcher. So Ventura stands in. See if he can't get something started here for MCC here in the 6th inning. There's the pitch. That's down for a ball. Now Cardenas gets the first batter and now falls behind Ventura 1-0. Looking in. Here's the pitch. That's outside for a ball. So a 2-0 count now on Brian Ventura as he steps in, looking for a fastball here. And that's a changeup. He swings over the top of it for a strike. So now 2-1 count against the Tigers center fielder, Brian Ventura. Looking in is Cardenas as Ventura will call time and step out. Ventura from Carolina, Puerto Rico. He stands in from the right side. Here's the pitch. It's down and away. Grounds it towards Prado. He's got to hurry. Ventura running down the first baseline, but he can't beat it. And Prado retires him on the 5-3 putout. So 2 up, 2 down here in the Tigers' 6th inning. That'll bring up Bennett Lopez. He's walked twice and grounded out to short.
No batting. Number 2, Bennett Lopez.
7-3 MCC with a 4-run lead here. Bottom of the 6th inning. Coming up in the 7th for the Panthers will be Evan Straw, Roberto Prado, and Nick Pearson. So bottom of the order coming up for Ellsworth Community College. Standing in is Bennett Lopez. There's the pitch. He swings, drives it back through the middle. That's a base hit. And Lopez on base for the 3rd time here in the ballgame. This is his first hit of the game. And with 2 outs, he'll get Emmanuel Lopez to the plate. He lined a double his last time up in the 5th inning.
No batting. Number 10.
Now batting here in the bottom of the 6th. Bennett Lopez leads from first. 2 outs. Emmanuel Lopez at the plate. Cardenas looks at the runner, throws it towards the plate. It's going to be just a little bit outside for a ball. Lopez had already singled and doubled. He singled and doubled. Now here's the pitch. That one's on the outside corner for a strike. The 1-1 count. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Manuel Lopez hitting for the Tigers. Bennett Lopez leading from first base. And back on the pickoff play. He's just in time as he gets back standing. Cardenas, one of the lefties, and sometimes those left-handed pitchers have really good pickoff moves. It's kind of what they're known for, is those good pickoff moves. And he's looking right at Bennett Lopez. There it is, but Lopez a good read on him. He gets back to first base. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th inning, and Manuel Lopez at the plate. He's already done quite a bit of damage for the Tigers here in the ballgame. Here's the pitch. It's a curveball right on the outside corner for a strike. Cardenas has a pretty nice looking curveball. As that one floated up there. MCC has out-hit Ellsworth 10-3. And they lead 7-3. Here's the pitch. That one's in the dirt. It gets away. James will come up throwing, but Bennett Lopez will make it on the stolen base for Lopez. And now a runner in scoring position for Emmanuel Lopez with a 2-2 count. So 2-2 on Lopez on the season. He's got 24 RBIs. Trying to get his 25th right here. Looking in is Cardenas. Now time called by Emmanuel Lopez. Lopez calls time. Bennett Lopez will be at second base. Any type of hit, he'll score. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th inning, 7-3. MCC with a 4-run lead. Cardenas looking in. Takes the pickoff move. Now here's the pitch. It's a curveball, and a good job by Emmanuel Lopez. He lays off of it. And the count is full at 3-2. So a 3-2 count, 2 outs. Lopez will be probably going on the pitch. Actually, yeah, well, no, because if it's ball 4, they could throw him out. We'll see. He's at second base with 2 outs. And time called once again by Emmanuel Lopez. Making the pitcher work at it here. TJ Cardenas trying to work deliberately, and Lopez trying to slow him down. He stands in. 3-2 count, 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th inning. Looking in is Cardenas. Here's the pitch. It's a curveball. Slices through the left side. That's a base hit. Bennett Lopez will score, and that's an RBI single for Emmanuel Lopez. Great at bat by Lopez as he just fought off some pitches, then took some close pitches, and he'll get the RBI on the single. So an RBI single for Lopez. Emmanuel Lopez. Bennett Lopez scores.
Now batting number 19, Luis Duran.
And Duran will come up as the RBI for Emmanuel Lopez. Actually his second RBI. He also had an RBI single back in the 1st inning. Here's the pitch to Duran, and he'll take a strike. So Duran takes a strike. Emmanuel Lopez leading from first. He doesn't have any stolen bases this season. And Cardenas throws it off, and that's going to get to the backstop. And Lopez will go down to second. So now a 2-out RBI opportunity for Luis Duran. And these 2-out RBIs really big at momentum plays, especially when Ellsworth scored 2 in the 5th inning to get a little bit closer. Now the Tigers trying to open it back up to a 6-run lead. 8-3 MCC, and there's time called by Duran. Luis Duran, the 3rd baseman, the freshman from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Looking in is Cardenas. Here's the pitch. That's down, and Duran swings right over the top of it for a strike. Must have been a slider or a changeup that just kind of died as it got to the plate. Duran looking fastball. And now it's a 1-2 count. So 1-2 with 2 outs against Duran. He swings his bat a couple times. Cardenas looks in, pitching out of the stretch. And Emmanuel Lopez at second. Here's the pitch. It's down. It's going to be a grounder towards third, but it's going to go foul. And he'll stay alive and stay a 1-2 count. We saw Emmanuel Lopez battle against Cardenas and get the RBI hit. See what Duran can do here. Luis stands in. Still a 1-2 count. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th inning. Looking in is Cardenas. He takes it, now gets set in the stretch, looking back at Lopez. Now here comes the pitch. It's outside on the curveball. So Duran takes the curve outside as Cardenas tried to get him to chase. And he's worked it to a 2-2 count. See if Duran can figure out or finish off this at bat with a hit. Looking in is Cardenas. And now he'll step off the rubber for time. 2-2 count. 8-3 Tigers on top of the Panthers. Bottom of the 6th inning. Duran at the plate. Lopez leads from second. Duran grounds one towards second. Pearson fields, throws on to first, and the inning is over. So Duran grounds out to Pearson. And that's how the 6th inning will come to an end. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on at base for MCC. So now to start the top of the 7th inning, it will be the same pitcher, Juan Carlos Gonzalez, for the Tigers. So Gonzalez will go to the mound. And coming up for Ellsworth will be Straw, Prado, and Pearson. 8-3 Tigers on top of the Panthers. You're watching here on the Tiger Sports Network, as we'll have quite a few games for you here. Some of the home games, we'll be streaming them once we get the streaming situation figured out. We'll have some of the games live. As Gonzalez on the mound. MCC coming into this game had won 4 of their last 5 ball games, including 2 at Southwestern, where they put up some big runs, 10-3. That was on Sunday. They won 10-3 and 10-0, and here they lead 8-3. So a lot of runs being put up by the Tigers over the last few ball games. That's 28 runs over the last 3 games. That's a pretty good scoring output for MCC, and they got another 11 hits here in the ball game already, and we're only in the top of the 7th. So it'll be Straw to lead off.
Leading off, top of the 7th for Ellsworth, number 38.
As he'll step in from the left-hand side. On the mound is Gonzalez. The lefty gets the sign, throws it in there. It's down and in. He'll foul it off as Straw rolls over it. Gonzalez has a really good slider, which he showed earlier. See if he tries to bring it back here. As Straw, the big left-handed first baseman for the Panthers, steps in. Here's the pitch, and there's a pitch in the dirt, trying to get Straw fishing. He holds up, and it's a 1-1 count. Looking in is Gonzalez. Here's the pitch, inside on a fastball, and he blew it by him for strike 2. Pretty good movement on that pitch. Looked like it started in the center and shot inside. Must have been a cut fastball, maybe a 2-seam fastball for Gonzalez. Here's the pitch on the outside corner. Ring him up, strike 3. As Straw strikes out looking. Put that one right on the corner. And that'll be another strikeout for MCC. As Diaz struck out 5, so that's the 6th strikeout of the ball game. The first for Gonzalez. So Gonzalez will look in. And now pinch hitting will be number 22 for Ellsworth.
Pinch hitting for the Panthers.
So number 22 for the Panthers is Tucker Klein. He'll pinch hit for Prado, and that pitch is in the dirt for a ball. So Tucker Klein pinch hitting, and a 1-0 count. So Klein will pinch hit for Prado, who will leave the game. He was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. And a 1-1 count as the swing and is hammered backwards by Klein. As he stands in, Tucker Klein on the season, a 200 hitter. There's the pitch right on the corner for a strike. So Gonzalez starting to find his rhythm on the mound, as he's hit the corner a couple times on the last few pitches. 1-2 count, 1 out, top of the 7th inning. MCC leading 8-3. Looking in is Gonzalez. Pitching out of the windup. He's got his sign. Here comes the pitch, and he struck him out swinging. And Embry will complete the throw down to first, so Gonzalez has struck out the first 2 hitters to start the 7th inning. And that'll bring up Pearson as Klein pinch hits, and he strikes out. Well, Prado struck out twice, and now Klein with the strikeout. So that is 7 strikeouts for the Tiger pitchers, as another strike as Pearson swings over the top of that pitch. It's like a breaking ball from Gonzalez. As Juan Carlos on the mound. He came in the 6th inning with 2 outs, and that pitch just off the corner. So 1-1 count. He came in the 6th inning for Noel Diaz, who pitched 5 2/3, allowed 3 runs, walked 2, and struck out 5. And that pitch is down and in for a ball. So Pearson with the 2-1 count now has the hitter's advantage. Looking in is Gonzalez. See what he goes with here. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball hammered towards right center. On the run is Holtz. He's not going to get it. He is able to cut it off, though. He'll get it back in. It is going to be a double for Nick Pearson. So Pearson drove that one to the right center field gap. Holtz was able to get a glove on it, but was unable to come up with it cleanly, and Pearson into second with a double. For Nick Pearson, that is his second double of the season. And just his sixth hit of the season. So Pearson with just his sixth hit of the year and his second double. That'll bring up Travis Miller with 2 outs as he singled and reached on an error, as there's strike 1. Top of the 7th inning, MCC with an 8-3 lead. They've out-hit Ellsworth 11-4. Miller standing in. He singled and reached on an error, and that one's in there for a strike. He's also grounded out to third. So 0-2 count against Travis Miller. And Gonzalez has a number of breaking pitches. See what he tries to go with here. If he tries to get Miller to chase, or if he comes after him with a fastball. Here's the pitch. It's a heater, and it's hammered foul. That's going to be out of play. Miller was on that pitch, but he just hit it foul. Gonzalez might have got away with one that time, as that fastball might have stayed up or stayed in the strike zone a little bit more than you'd want on the 0-2 count. Now looking in. Here's Gonzalez's 0-2 pitch. It's lined up the middle. Ventura's coming on. Will there be a play at the plate? Pearson's going to score, and that's an RBI single for Travis Miller. So Miller with an RBI and a single. Coming in to score will be Nick Pearson, who had the 2-out double. Now the RBI single, and now Rich Greif will come out and talk to his left-handed pitcher with 2 outs. No action in the Tiger bullpen. Maybe he's going with a scouting report on Jace Grant. With the 2 outs here in the inning, it's 8-4 now, as Ellsworth just won't go away. MCC keeps getting that little 4-run, 5-run lead, and then Ellsworth comes back and scores a couple runs, or 1 run, and makes it a little bit more interesting once again. So 8-4 is the score, as Miller drives home Pearson with the RBI single. And now Miller leading from first. If he might want to do some running with 2 outs. There's the pitch down low, and it's swung over the top of by Grant for a strike. So Grant swings at strike 1. A big batter here as the middle of the order coming up for Ellsworth. Gonzalez looks in. Here's the pitch. It's outside for a ball, as Embry checked to make sure he didn't swing. He appealed it down to the umpire right behind the pitcher's mound, but he said he did not swing, as Grant steps in. He's looking. Here's the pitch. That's outside. And 2-1 against Jace Grant. He's walked and singled, as Gonzalez looks in. Miller leading from first. 2-1 count. That ball is lobbed into right field. It's going to get down. Miller's heading for third base. Grant's going to stop at first. And now runners on first and third for Jonathan Fleek. It was just a flare into right field. Got down in front of Holtz, as another hit for Jace Grant. And now runners on first and third. And some trouble here for Gonzalez, but still 2 outs. So just needs to make 1 good pitch to get out of it. As Fleek will step in. On deck for the Panthers is James, the catcher. Here's the pitch, and that's a little outside. So things getting a little bit tense here. 8-4, Tigers with a 4-run lead. Top of the 7th inning. Ellsworth mounted this rally with 2 outs. They've had 3 straight hits. A double and 2 singles. And that's a good pitch. It's a little bit upstairs, though. So 2-0 against Fleek. And no action down in the MCC bullpen, so this is Gonzalez's guy and Gonzalez's inning. He looks in, pitching out of the stretch. Here's the pitch. It's swung and hammered foul, as Fleek was a little bit late on that swing, and it's a 2-1 count. So 2-1. Top of the 7th inning, 8-4. MCC with a 4-run lead. Leading from first is Grant. From third is Miller. Gonzalez's pitch. It's down and in, and he gets a strike 2. A big pitch there. So it looked like a slider in on Fleek's hands. He swung right over the top of it. Now a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Grant leading from first. Do the Panthers do any running here? Looking in is Gonzalez. Here's the pitch. It's swung, and he just stays alive. He's able to tap it foul, is Fleek. So Fleek taps it foul. Still 2-2 count. The hits becoming a little bit more even, as Ellsworth has 6 hits. MCC with 11. Gonzalez looking to get out of this inning, only allowing the 1 run. He looks in. He's got his sign. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Now he checks the runner. Now here it comes. It's grounded foul. He nearly hit his third base coach down there. Might have got a piece of him, but he seems to be okay. It was the lower part. Oh, and the legs, not up top, as both base coaches wearing helmets down there. As Fleek stands back in. 8-4, critical pitch here for Gonzalez. He looks in. Here's the pitch. It's outside for a ball. Tried to get Fleek to chase the heater outside. He doesn't do it, and it's a full count. Now the runner from first will be going. Miller will be at third base. He won't be going, because if it's a ball 4, then he'd run into an out. But Grant will be going at first. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. A big strikeout for Gonzalez as he gets Fleek swinging. Ellsworth gets 1, and they get a few hits and leave a couple stranded. A big strikeout by Gonzalez to get out of the top of the 7th. A big K there for Juan Carlos Gonzalez. Gets him out of the inning, only allows the 1 run. He does give up 3 hits, but he's able to get the big one for the Tigers. Now coming up to the plate for MCC will be Logan Holtz, Diahin Sabalos, and Hunter Embry. So it'll be Holtz, Sabalos, and Embry. Holtz hit a 2-run double his last time up. He hammered it to right center, and it just kept on going. Actually, with a 2-run triple. He had a 2-run triple his last time up. He's also grounded out to second and reached via fielder's choice. And another new pitcher on the mound for Ellsworth is number 4. That is Travis Bolin. So Travis Bolin on the mound. Already the 5th pitcher for Ellsworth. So Bolin will take the mound. He's got an 11.2 ERA, only 4 innings pitched. He's allowed 8 hits, 7 runs, 5 earned runs, 7 walks, and 5 strikeouts. So he can be a little bit wild. 7 walks in 4 innings. And he's out on the mound, the right-hander. So looking to try and bust this one open will be MCC here in this inning, bottom of the 7th. As they've been able to score and keep Ellsworth at distance, but Ellsworth still hanging around at a point where a couple hits and make this thing a little bit interesting. So Holtz will step in from the right side. He's from Urbana, Iowa. Center Point, Urbana for Logan Holtz. The outfielder as Bolin in, and he throws the first pitch for a ball. So ball one. As Holtz stands in, 1-0 count. Bottom of the 7th inning. That pitch is hammered straight back through the box. That's a leadoff single to start the 7th for Holtz. That's his second hit and his 4th at bat. He'll have the leadoff single, and now Sabalos will step in. He hammered one back in the 1st inning, and then he's grounded out twice to 3rd. Sabalos had the 3-run homer back in the 1st inning as he lit up Maracle. He hammered it to left center and carried out of here. And the first pitch in the dirt, going on the pitch, is Holtz, and he's in there with a stolen base. So Holtz takes second. And now Sabalos has a runner in scoring position. He's already knocked in 3. Chance to get his 4th RBI with a base hit. He's got 14 RBIs. Chance to get to 15 with a hit here. Looking in is Bolin. And here's the pitch. It's down and swinging is Sabalos. He'll foul it straight back. And that'll be a 1-1 count on the Tigers left fielder. So Sabalos stands in. Holtz leading from second. He has a pretty big lead out there. As Bolin looking in. He checks him a couple times. Now he's coming to the plate. Here's the pitch. It's a curveball on the outside corner for a strike. So 1-2 count now. Bottom of the 7th inning. 8-4 MCC. Leading Ellsworth on the Tiger Sports Network. Looking inside, or looking into the catcher, is Bolin. And he checks the runner. Now here's the pitch. Same pitch. Sabalos all over that curveball. He hammers it, and that's going to be a foul ball. It was a hanging curveball, and Sabalos hit it down the left field line, but it just curved foul as he was looking for his second dinger of the day. We'll see if we'll see if Bolin comes back with that pitch again. As Bolin on the mound, looking in. Now he shakes off the catcher. Might have wanted that curveball again, and Sabalos just crushed the hanger. See what he tries to get him out with here. 1-2 count, nobody out. Bottom of the 7th inning. Looking in is Bolin. Here comes the pitch. It's a fastball down and in, and he struck him out swinging. So Sabalos goes down swinging for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up Hunter Embry. He had an RBI sac fly his last time up. He also reached on an error back in the 1st inning and lined out to center. So he flew out to the right his last time up and got the run home. See what he can do here in his 4th at bat. Looking in is Bolin. Here's the pitch. That's outside. Good stop by Janes. And he backhanded that one. Looked like that was going to the wall or to the backstop, but Janes able to backhand it and keep Holtz at second base. 1-0 count. 1 out. Bottom of the 7th inning. Looking in is Bolin. And now time is called by Embry. So Embry calls time. Already has 1 RBI in the ball game. His 9th of the season. Now looking right back in. Here's the pitch. It's outside for a ball. And it's a 2-0 count against Embry. So Hunter Embry with a 2-0 count. Beautiful day for baseball here at Sean Williams Field. As looking in will be Bolin. He's got the sign. Out at second base is Holtz. Now he looks him back and he'll step off the mound. So stepping off the mound is Bolin to hold Holtz at second. Embry, the big catcher, a sophomore from Knoxville, Iowa. As checking the runner is Bolin. Now here's the pitch. That's in the dirt. Gets away from Janes. Holtz going for third, and he'll be in there standing up. So Holtz will advance to third after he singled. He got to second on a similar play. And now a 3-0 count against Hunter Embry. So Embry with a 3-0 count. You got to think he's looking for something specific here. Unless it's right in his zone, he's probably not swinging. Here's the pitch, and there it is. He's grounded towards third, and he fouls it off. As down at third was Tucker Klein. He fielded it. He came in as a pinch hitter for Roberto Prado back in the top of the seventh and struck out and remained in the game. Now looking in is Bolin. 1 out, runner at third base, 3-1 count. Here's the pitch. It's grounded off, and it's a 3-2 count. So Embry staying alive. He had a 3-0 count, and now he's even at 3-2. So full count for Embry, trying to get another run home for the Tigers, make it a 5-run lead. Here's the pitch. It's a curveball outside, ball 4. So Embry draws the walk, and he'll go down to first base. Holtz will stay at third, and that'll bring up Roschauer. So Joel Roschauer, he's grounded out to first and struck out. He's also singled. So he's 1 of 3. Roschauer, the first baseman, is looking in as Bolin. Here's the pitch. That's outside for a ball. Roschauer gets ahead. Bottom of the 7th inning. 8-4. MCC with a 4-run lead. Roschauer from the left side. Embry leads from first. Leading from third is Holtz. Roschauer, first baseman. He's a freshman from Elk Run Heights, Iowa. Here's the pitch. That's outside for a ball. Like he played, or he went to high school at Waterloo East. Roschauer, the first baseman for the Tigers. The 2-0 count. Embry leading from first. Now it's grounded towards first, but it'll be a foul ball. And now it's 2-1. So 2-1 count now on Roschauer. Still only 1 out, so a fly ball to the outfield should be enough to get Holtz home. The only thing you want to avoid is a grounder towards the middle of the infield. Looking in is Bolin. Now he's got his sign. Here's the pitch. It's outside for a ball. So 3-1 on Roschauer. He went 3-1. He went 3-0 to Embry, then worked it to 3-2, and Hunter drew a walk. Now Roschauer trying to make him pay with a hit here. Runners on first and third. He tries the pickoff throw and nearly threw it away, but Straw able to make a nice catch over at first base. Has a 3-1 count here with 1 out. Looking in is Bolin, and that's outside for a ball. So back-to-back walks, and the bases are loaded for Christian Jaworski. So Jaworski has the bases loaded, and now the Panthers will have a meeting at the mound. Looks like there is somebody warming up for Ellsworth down in the bullpen. But this is the pitching coach coming out. Looks like a righty is down in the bullpen for Ellsworth. Can't tell what number it is, but it is a right-handed pitcher, as the bases are now loaded for Christian Jaworski. Gives us some time to look back at how we got to this point. MCC got a 3-run homer by Diahan Sabalos. And then they've also got a couple of RBIs from, let's see, it was Hunter Embry had a sac fly. They got a 2-run triple from Logan Holtz. And he's also singled as Jaworski steps in. MCC scored 4 in the first and 3 in the fourth, and then 1 in the sixth. 3 in the fifth, rather. 3 in the fifth and 1 in the sixth, and that pitch is high for a ball. 8-4 is the score. Bases loaded, only 1 out. Jaworski looking to do some damage and break this one wide open. Looking in is Bolin. Here's the pitch. It's swung. It's driven towards left center. That's all kinds of trouble. It's out and it's off the fence. 1 run scores. Embry's coming around and he'll stay as he had to stay put, but a hammered shot that time by Jaworski. A long single, and that's going to be an RBI for Jaworski. Coming around to score is Holtz. Embry might have scored, but he had to hold, thinking that ball could have been caught. And that one was hammered out towards left center as a new helmet for Jaworski. And now number 7 is going to pinch hit for MCC. He's coming in for Brian Ventura. That's Caleb Hanks. So Hanks will pinch hit for Ventura.
Pinch hitting for the Tigers, number 7, Caleb Hanks.
So Hanks will come in for Ventura. And he'll replace him in center field. 1 run scored on that play, and there's a breaking ball in for a strike. So Ventura leaves with a 1-for-4 afternoon. He doubled, struck out, grounded out to the pitcher, and grounded out to third. Hanks first at bat here for the Tigers. Here's the pitch. It's down and in, strike 2. He swung over the top of it. So an 0-2 count now on Caleb Hanks. Still only 1 out in the inning. Bases still loaded. Looking in is Bolin. And here comes the pitch. It's down. He swings and misses, but it's going to be an out at first base. Embry will. Well, let's see. They're going to call, I think all the runners, well, Embry scores. So Embry scores on the strikeout. Hanks strikes out. Embry scores from third. And Rosauer goes to third, and then Jaworski to second. So the batter is automatically out on a drop third strike with the bases loaded. So that's what the play was, but the runner from third did advance, so Embry makes it 10-4. MCC with the 6-run lead now. So the Tigers have put up 10 in their last 3 ball games. They scored 10 in 2 games versus Southwestern, and they're going to add to it as Bennett Lopez hammers one to the gap. 2 runs are going to score. Lopez going for second. Throw to the second base, not in time. And a 2-run double for Bennett Lopez has broken this thing wide open. It's now 12-4. So a 2-run double for Lopez, as both Rosauer and Jaworski score.
No batting, number 10.
And that'll bring up Emmanuel Lopez, as he drove in a run with his RBI single back just an inning ago. So Ellsworth gets 1 to bring it to 8-4, and the Tigers put up 4 runs here in the bottom of the 7th and are still hitting. Emmanuel Lopez digging in. Had an RBI single in his last at bat. He's also doubled and singled. And doubled again. That pitch is inside for a ball. So big day for Lopez. as he singled and then he doubled to lead off the second. And now looking in is Bolin for the Panthers. Here's the pitch. It's swung. It's looped towards right field, and it's going to be foul down the right field line. So Lopez will have to go back to second, and Manuel Lopez will stay at the plate. 1-1 count, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning. Looking in is Bolin as he takes the sign. Now looks back at the runner, Bennett Lopez. Now here's the pitch, and that's in the dirt for a ball. So ball to Emmanuel Lopez. The inning started with Logan Holt's single, and if Lopez gets on here, the Tigers will bat around as Luis Duran will be the 9th batter of the inning. 2-1 count, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. And that pitch is hammered towards right, but on to field it is Phillips. He'll make the catch in right field, and that's how the inning will come to an end. So more runs scored for MCC as they score 4 and make it a 12-4 ball game. Just leave the one runner on base as Lopez flies out to end at the bottom of the 7th. So as we head on to the top of the 8th inning, Gonzalez will stay out there for the Tigers as he came in for Noel Diaz, who went 5 2/3, still in line to get the victory. And a 12-4 lead for MCC, where you just want to get quick outs and no walks or anything to try and make anything extra interesting. As Gonzalez out there taking his warm-up pitches. Coming up for the Panthers will be David Janes, Christopher Phillips, and Brody Kunzman. It'll be Janes, Phillips, and Kunzman for Ellsworth to lead off this top of the 8th inning. As Gonzalez still on the mound for the Tigers. Again, he came in with 2 outs in the 6th inning, so he's pitched 1 1/3 inning so far. So this will be his 2nd inning coming up for MCC. And standing in will be David Janes. Janes has lined out to center or to right, reached on an error, and he was hit by a pitch. Here's the first pitch, and that's low for a ball. So Gonzalez falls behind Janes. MCC has out-hit Ellsworth 14-6. And here's the pitch, and that one is hammered straight up into the air. Lopez and Manuel under it. He's going to step a couple steps to his right. He'll make the catch and 1 away. So fly out to short for Janes. And 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. As Christopher Phillips will step in. He reached. He had a single where he reached on it was an infield single where he was able to get there as that one bounces straight up by us, but it's a ball. The pitch in the dirt and bounced straight off the dirt and straight up high on the backstop. 1-0, and that pitch is in the dirt for a ball. So now a 2-0 count. 1 out, top of the 8th inning. MCC leading 12-4. And looking in is Gonzalez. Here's the pitch. That one is in there for a strike. Phillips looked back at the umpire like he didn't exactly agree with the call, but the umpire said it's right there, and it's 2-1 count. Here's the pitch, and there's another slider in on the corner for a strike. So now 2-2 count as Gonzalez fell behind 2-0, and now he's worked it even at 2-2. Trying to get another strikeout here. Here's the pitch. Same pitch, and he struck him out swinging. So Phillips goes down swinging. Second out of the inning. And the third strikeout, actually the fourth strikeout for Gonzalez. Juan Carlos Gonzalez already with 4 strikeouts in the game as Kunzman comes in, the left fielder for the Panthers. And there's the pitch, and that's a similar pitch that he got Phillips on, a slider on the inside. And Kunzman swings right over the top of it. Gonzalez right back into the windup. There's a fastball on the outside corner for a strike. Gonzalez has some pretty impressive pitches when he goes to that slider, and then he can come back with the fastball. See what he tries to finish Kunzman with. There's the pitch. The slider on the corner, and he got him looking. So 3 up, 3 down, including 2 strikeouts, as Gonzalez freezes Kunzman, and we'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning as MCC with a 12-4 lead, and just one more at bat coming up for the Ellsworth Community College Panthers. Well, the Panthers just have one more at bat coming up. Gives us some time to recap the scoring. MCC scored 4 in the first inning. Then Ellsworth scored 1 in the top of the 4th inning to make it 4-1. MCC came back with 3 more runs in the top of the 5th inning. Ellsworth scored 2 runs in the 6th. And then MCC scored a run in the 6th. And then 1 run in the 7th for the Panthers. And 4 runs in the 7th for the Tigers. And they have a 12-4 lead as we start the bottom of the 8th inning. And that'll be a new pitcher on the mound for Ellsworth. Their 6th pitcher of the ball game, and this is number 25, Stephen Christofferson. So Christofferson will come in to finish up the ball game for, well, maybe not finish up the ball game, depending on how he pitches. MCC with a pretty decent lead, but you never know what can happen. But the way Gonzalez is pitching, he's started to shut down the Panthers after they got to him for a couple of runs in that 6th inning. But those were going to be charged to Noel Diaz. And then just the 1 run they got off him in the 7th, which came on 3 straight hits once there were 2 outs, as the Tigers will bat here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 12-4 MCC with an 8-run lead on the Tiger Sports Network. Duran will step in as he will lead off the inning for MCC. It'll be Duran, Holtz, and Sabalos. Duran grounded out to second, his last at bat. He's singled twice, and he grounded out to second. He's also lined out to second. Duran is 2 for 4, as that pitch is high for a ball. Duran stretches out and now steps back in. As another pitcher going down to the bullpen for MCC. Looks like it's number 29 for the Tigers. That's Austin Gridley. He might be the pitcher to try and finish this one off in the 9th inning. 2-0 count against Duran, and that's high, 3-0. So a 3-0 count. Bottom of the 8th inning, MCC leading 12-4. Looking in is Christofferson, and that's high for a ball. So Christofferson with a 4-pitch walk to Duran to start the 8th. So a 4-pitch walk, and that'll bring up Logan Holtz. He's hit a 2-run triple, and he's also singled and scored.
Number 6, Logan Holtz.
So Holtz will step in. Duran will lead from first. Christofferson trying to get one over for a strike. And he still is yet to throw a strike. That's his 5th consecutive ball. And now Janes will walk out to the mound and try to settle down Christopherson. Durant on first base. Holtz is the hitter. Our next broadcast on the Tiger Sports Network will be next Tuesday when Nyack and MCC get together. That'll be at 3 p.m. First pitch for that one. This one was a 2 o'clock first pitch. That one will be a single game for a 3 o'clock first pitch versus Nyack Community College next Tuesday. There's the pitch to Holtz, and that's off the corner. He swings and misses for a strike. So the first strike for Christopherson. As Holtz, the right-handed hitter, the right fielder for MCC, and a good pick by Janes, keeps Durant at first base as he walked. And now 2-1 against Holtz. 2-1 count. Durant leads from first. There's the pitch. Holtz pops it back. That'll be out of play and foul. And now 2-2 count. So 2-2 count against Logan Holtz. MCC again having a pretty good day at the plate. They scored 10 against Southwestern twice on Sunday, and they've scored 12 here in this ball game. So 32 runs in the last 3 games for MCC so far, and could add to it. That's a 3-2 count now against Logan Holtz. As Holtz stands in. Looking in is Christopherson. Now he's got the sign. Here's the pitch. It's hammered foul. There might be room. Looking over is Straw, but he's going to run out of room. And that'll be a foul ball, and we'll stay with a full count at 3-2. So still 3-2 count. Durant still at first base. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th inning for MCC. Holtz looking in. Or looking right back out at the pitcher. Here's the pitch from Christopherson. It's a fastball, and it's hammered down the left field line. Cut off down in the corner is going to be the outfielder, but into second with a double is Holtz. And on to third goes Durant. And Holtz's big day is continuing as he's now had a 2-run triple, a single, and a double. He's just a home run shy of the cycle. Zabalos hit that home run back in the first inning. He had a 3-run shot, which really got the scoring going for MCC. It was just 1-0 at the time, made it 4-0, and now it's 12-4. 15 hits for MCC. So Dion Zabalos will dig back in. Now time is called, and looks like Ellsworth might be making another. Let's see if they're going to make another pitching change or. Well, looks like it's going to be a little meeting of the infield. There will be a pitching change. So the 7th pitcher will be coming into the game for the Panthers. As Christopherson only able to get 1 out. Actually didn't get anybody out. And we'll see who they got coming in to pitch here. We'll get you some stats once we figure out the number. It'll be number 28. That is Brian Natter. He's got a 5.23 ERA. He's pitched 10 1/3 innings. Struck out 6, walked 6. He's allowed 13 hits, 12 runs, and 6 earned runs. And he's a little bit of a sidearm submarine pitcher. So a little different arm slot going to be coming at the Tigers. Kind of does the submarine like, I don't know of a lot of Major League pitchers that do the submarine much anymore. I guess you could say Chad Bradford used to do it, and Young Kim used to do it for, a long time ago, but you don't see the submarine or sidearm pitch that much anymore. 12-4 MCC with an 8-run lead. Runners on second and third, nobody out. As Natter will be coming to the mound. And stepping to the plate will be Zabalos. as he's gotten a good look at Natter. As a long bottom of the 8th inning here, as standing in will be Sabalos, as 2 straight hits, as Nader on for the Panthers. As he looks in, again we saw his windup, and now time called by Sabalos. 12-4, MCC with the lead. A base knock here could make it a 10-run lead at 14-4. Here's the pitch, and that's inside for a ball. So Nader goes right at Sabalos' heel that time with that pitch. And Sabalos lays off. And a 1-0 count against Johan. And now looking in is Nader, and that pitch is hammered foul, as Sabalos all over that pitch, but out in front of it. Johan Sabalos is from La Vega, Dominican Republic. Standing in from the right side. Looking in is Nader, 1-1 count on Sabalos. He's taken some big hacks. He almost hit a home run back just an inning ago on a hanging curveball, as that pitch once again at the ankles for a ball. A 2-1, and he did hit a home run back in the first inning. Sabalos on the season has drove in 11 runs, 14 now with the 3-run homer, and that was his second home run of the season back in the first inning. So 2-1 count, and that pitch is low for a ball. So now 3-1 against Sabalos. As Nader having a little bit of trouble throwing strikes for the Panthers. Now 3-1 count. Sabalos will be looking for a fastball, and he gets it. He fouls it straight back, and he just got under that one. And now it's a full count at 3-2. I wonder what pitch Nader's going to come with. Maybe a sweeping slider he might try across the plate. As he looks in, he's pitching out of the stretch. Runners at second and third. Nobody out. Full count. Sabalos against Nader. Here's the pitch. It's swung and popped straight up into the air. Under it is the second baseman, Pearson. He'll drift back and make the catch. And there's one away in the bottom of the 8th. So Sabalos popped that one straight up. That's an F4. And now Hunter Embre, a chance to drive in another run. He had a sac fly back in the 5th inning. And then he walked in the 7th. So Embre stands in. Out at second base is Holtz and Duran at third base. Here's the pitch, and that's on the outside corner for a strike. So strike one to Embre. As Nader looking in. One out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Looking in is Nader. And here's the pitch. That's low. Good stop, though, by Janes. As he got down and stopped that one pretty nicely. He did exactly what you're taught to do. Get down in front of the baseball, and he did just that. Saved a run. Now Embre, a chance to drive in 2 with a base hit. 1-1 count, 1 out, bottom of the 8th inning, 12-4, MCC on top of Ellsworth. And Embre swings through that one, foul tips it into the catcher's mitt. That's strike 2. So now 1-2 count. Embre on the season. He's struck out 12 times. As Nader looking in. The big catcher for the Tigers trying to deliver here with 1 out. He grounds it right back to Nader. He'll hold Duran at third, throw on to first, and that's 2 away. So a good play that time by Nader as he held Duran. He fielded the grounder and threw out Embre. And it'll be up to Rosauer to drive in these 2 runs. So Holtz still at second, Duran at third. They were there with nobody out. Zabalos popped out to second, and Embry grounded out to the pitcher. Now Rosauer trying to come up with a big 2-out hit here. Always nice to have 2-out RBIs. Even with the big lead, you always like these clutch situations where you got to come up with a big hit. That's outside for a ball. So 1-0 count on Rosauer. As Nader, after giving up a couple hits, has fought back into it. And he's right there. Well, he came on for Christopherson, actually. As Christopherson gave up a couple hits, and then Nader came in. He got the pop-up and then the ground out. So he's done a pretty good job trying to work out of the jam. Here's the pitch. Rosauer hammers one to right center. Christopher Phillips can't get it. That's going all the way to the wall. 2-run score. And that's how this game will come to an end, as Rosauer will deliver a 2-run single. And that'll be a 10-run rule for the Tigers as they defeat Ellsworth Community College 14-4 as they get 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning and get the victory over Ellsworth 14-4. So MCC will now move to 13-7 on the season. And again, our next broadcast will be next Tuesday when Nyack comes to MCC. That'll be a 3 o'clock start here from Sean Williams Field. So be sure to come back and watch then for that broadcast. That'll be 14-4 as the Tigers win their 3rd straight ball game and their 5th in their last 6. The big hits come today from Diahan Sabalos, who had a 3-run homer. Hunter Embry drove in a run with a sac fly, and Logan Holtz had a triple, a single, and a double for MCC. Noel Diaz gets the win as the Tigers again move to 13-7 on the season. Final score, MCC 14, Ellsworth Community College 4. I'm Andy Jennings saying good afternoon from Sean Williams Field on the Tiger Sports Network.